Hey, good morning, everyone. As always, we'll start with some housekeeping items. Please keep yourself on mute. If you don't mind, add your affiliation next to your name on the Zoom ID. Arnie's here for record permission, and if you have a question, as always, use the virtual raised hand button here on Zoom. Well, as you know, the 2024 NTT INDYCAR Series season begins this weekend in the streets of St. Petersburg for the annual Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, presented by RP Funding. Arrow McLaren just moments ago announcing their driver for the number 6 NTT Data Chevrolet this weekend as Callum Ilott makes his return to the series. This Sunday will mark Callum's 37th career NTT IndyCar Series start and a return to the streets of St. Pete, where he finished 5th last year after starting 22nd. And Callum, thanks for hopping on with us quickly after the announcement here today. Just your thoughts about returning to St. Pete, now driving the number 6 Chevrolet for Arrow McLaren.
Thank you for having me, and it's great to be back. It's great to be back in the NTT series and getting on with it with the number 6 Arrow McLaren Chevrolet. So really excited. It's a great race to come in for. First off, I feel really bad for David. I hope he gets a speedy recovery and gets back in the car soon. I think he's coming to the race, so we'll get to work together and get him up to speed with the team as quick as possible. And also for me as well, I need to get up to speed. But yeah, really grateful for the opportunity. So thanks to Zach, Gavin, Tony, the whole team, and NTT Data for letting me in the car. So it's going to be exciting. Also got to give a thanks to Hertz Team Jota for allowing me to do this race. So I'm very pumped to get going and give this orange car a go. Or papaya.
Yeah, the papaya already looks good, though. You ease right into that. Obviously, one more before we open it up for questions. Just returning from the World Endurance Championship, finished second, so quick flight, quick turnaround, different machinery. Is your head spinning right now, or do you think you'll settle right in once we get going to St. Pete?
Don't know what continent I'm on, what time zone, but I'm ready to go as always. So no, yeah, we had a great race. Finished second. Yeah, solid weekend in the World Endurance Championship. So that was a great start to the year. Really enjoyed it. And got on a plane, stopped off in the UK, collected some stuff, and flew straight on to Indy, where I am now. I'm in the shop, getting some last minute prep, took some photos for you guys this morning, and off we go.
Well, we appreciate that. We love the Callum Ilott smile you always give us. Let's go ahead and open it up for questions. Again, if you have one, use the virtual raised hand function here on Zoom. We'll begin with Joey Barnes from motorsport.com. Hey, Joey.
Hey, thanks, Dave. Hey, Callum. So I'm just kind of curious because, we all know that with IndyCar, it's roughly somewhat of a spec series for the most part, but there is a difference in team size and in personnel, et cetera. So with that experience at Juncos coming into this opportunity, I guess, where's the headspace in relation to that? Like, where do you look at how big of an opportunity this is, maybe compared to what you had the past 2 years, the equipment difference, et cetera?
To be honest, it's a bit of a discovery process because obviously I did the hybrid test, but I've only been in the shop for 1 or 2 days now. So yeah, the size of the team obviously is larger and more years of experience within the series. But I can't really comment on that until doing the race weekend and experiencing it on that side of a full scale. So yeah, obviously it's great. The preparation is good, even though I've kind of had to be in Qatar and full focus on that. But now is obviously full focus on St. Pete. So yeah, that's increasing and ramping up, and I'm excited to see what the full scale of the operation is.
Well, I guess the follow-up to that, and this is probably the last one, is just when you're still kind of in that, as you say, discovery process of kind of learning some of those integral parts of the team, do you have personal expectations this weekend that might be different than what you might have had in years past? Because as we know, like a top 5 in a Juncos car is going to be a mega run. I mean, what are you kind of looking at with the scope of this opportunity?
It's a brand new year for everyone, so of course you don't know exactly where to start off. But in the history of Arrow McLaren, they've always been very, very strong, and St. Pete last year was also very strong. So yeah, I think there's all the opportunity to do a good job. But my focus at the end of the day is filling in and doing a solid job and leaving the weekend with no complaints. So if I can be fast and up there, great. If I can finish the race and get some good points for them, that's also the goal. So yeah, let's see where it goes into FP1 qualifying and then the race.
Awesome. Well, best of luck this weekend, man.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Joey. Let's go to Archie O'Reilly, Dive Bar Motorsports. Archie, go ahead, but Callum.
Hi, Callum. Congrats on the last weekend, first of all, and then the announcement today as well. I think, first of all, just how important is it to you as an opportunity to really prove yourself that you can fit in at a top team, this opportunity, and I guess how important is it as well to just validate the work that you've done at Hunkos as well and prove that it was a really, really high level you were showing there?
Yeah, I mean that's I think it kind of goes without saying that every racing driver wants to prove what they can do, and this is a perfect opportunity to do it. And the test at Homestead went really well, and so far gearing up to this weekend, it's all going very smoothly. So I fit in quite well in a last minute situation. Again, I wish David all the best and gets to be in the car as soon as possible, but I'll try and do the best job that I can within that time. Yeah, it's obviously an interesting place to be and an interesting place to see what I can do. But again, I can't really comment until I get on there. But that's the goal, right? To do as well as possible.
Yeah, and I know a couple of months back you told us that you were going to try and be around the paddock a bit. Have you got any more inkling as to whether there will be opportunities later in the year beyond this chance here to deputise at McLaren, or is it still a case of kind of seeing what comes up sort of
Well, I
later?
think the plan of being around and maybe jumping in a car came sooner than expected. So obviously that kind of don't want to say wish, but idea has come early. So yeah, I'll see what happens. I'm obviously quite busy with the World Endurance Championship throughout the year, but if I can make some races, see what happens. But I'm around and I'll be looking about for sure.
Thanks a lot, Callum. Nice to speak to you again. Cheers, Dave.
You got it. Thanks for joining us, Eric Smith, IndyCar.com. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Congrats, Callum, on this announcement today. Just a couple questions for you. Obviously, the NTT IndyCar series, everybody gets this levels fast. They're talented race car drivers. So I'm just curious, from the race car driver's perspective, what are some of the intangibles that a driver can show the team that maybe isn't reflective on the speed chart or race results of something maybe you can do behind the scenes that maybe us to the outside world aren't aware of?
Uh, yeah, I mean, results are obviously a very global, quick look at what amount of effort goes in to the world of sports and motorsports. And that's the thing that at the end of the day, everyone wants to see. I mean, if I look in hindsight or not in hindsight, but if I look back at my career in IndyCar, it was spent in a single car team, which moved to a dual car team, and we got some amazing results in that environment and built something up from the ground. Sometimes that gets overlooked because at the end of the day, results is the most important thing. But yeah, I think that kind of work, you know how much effort you put in to get that environment to the place that it is. But overall, yeah, I mean, everyone is working super hard in every environment that they're in. So I can't say that what I do or did personally is any more or any less than anyone else. But yeah, I know the efforts that I've put in different places, and I think this is one of those little or quite a big rewards to get to fill in for.
And what is kind of the mindset, confidence levels, I guess, going into a ride? Obviously, is a full-time seat for you, so you can't not be aggressive in a series as tight as the IndyCar series. We also, I'm sure you don't want to go out there and make any enemies because this could be audition for the entire paddock. So how do you balance that behind the wheel this coming weekend?
I think in terms of the friends enemies type of thing, I've done 2.5 years almost in this series, and people know what I am. So I think in terms of one race, I'm not gonna create any problems on that side. But looking at it, yeah, I've my full-term commitment this year is in WEC, and that's where my full mind is, and I'm enjoying that a lot so far. We had a great start to the year, so in my books, I've already checked off a podium on that side, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to keeping the momentum and the speed with these guys here at Arrow McLaren.
And my final one obviously said it's kind of a discovery process this weekend, but race rhythm is a thing. And you just raced last weekend, as you mentioned, you got a podium. You finished fifth there last year. McLaren's got good cars on street courses. Do you feel like, I know it's hard to say, you haven't been inside a race conditions yet in this car, but what is the immediate goal? I mean, do you feel a podium, top five is something that's achievable this weekend? Do you feel like you can use last weekend? Granted, it's a sports car, not an Indy car, but you've already been in race rhythm. Is that something you can use to your advantage this weekend?
Yeah, honestly, I'm in a very good space this year. I've had a great off season, and actually a kind of, even though it's been a bit crazy the last couple of weeks, a great build up to my weekend in Qatar. I think in looking at it, the test at Homestead helped me a lot to get the ball rolling actually in Qatar, and I think vice versa coming from there, I had 6 out of 7 days on track, or maybe 5 out of 6, 5 out of 6 days on track coming here to St. Pete. I think I'll be ready to go. In terms of results, it's very difficult to say. Yes, I've was competitive there last year in the race, and you'd hope that would continue, and that's the goal. In terms of the extent of that, I don't know. We've got to see. I'm really, again, like I said, on the discovery side, there's a lot to learn and know, and I think a few questions will be answered by the end of the weekend.
Sure. Cool. Thanks, Callum. Appreciate your time. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Eric. Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. Go ahead, Nate.
Thanks, Dave. Hey, congrats, Callum. The release from the team says it's only specific to St. Pete. So have you been told, or have you had any discussions about this going beyond St. Pete if David remains out for, say, thermal?
Look, I think it all depends on David. Obviously, he's got to, I guess, work. You can't really work to get better, but you've got to be in the position to get better. So I hope he recovers as quickly as possible. I am available for thermal, but again, that's a later point whether we'll know if that's the case or not. So we'll see what happens with David and the team, and yeah, for the future.
Okay. The initial release when Malukas was hurt indicated he could be back like right before Long Beach. I've noticed the WEC schedule has quite a gap past that. So would that be, I mean, I know this is speculative, but if this goes well this weekend, are you thinking that as long as David is out, you could be Aaron McLaren's guy in this car?
I don't want to say it at all like that. I think WEC is the priority for me, and it will be for the near future. Of course, if I'm available and what's needed is me, for example, then of course I'm open to doing it. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens on that side. But I pray for David that's not the case, because you want to be in the car and you want to work with your team. And yeah, I hope that he is in the car very soon, because it's very tough. I can understand, even for me, the one race that I did out the car after the 500 in 2022, it's tough to sit and watch. So I don't really wish that on anyone. It's especially with a new team, it's very tough. So I do feel for David, and again, want him to be in the car as soon as possible.
Sure, absolutely. Presuming he is back for Long Beach, but this goes really well this weekend and maybe you turn some heads. I know you said you're committed to WEC this year, but beyond that, if there are gaps in the schedule and you get approached by IndyCar teams, are you treating it as you're kind of available for hire as needed?
Yeah, of course, it's all up for discussion, right? I can't. There's a limit to what you can do in terms of travel. Of course, everything has fit in quite well. I had to miss the Sebring test for the WEC stuff, but in the end, the WEC race was quite good. So I think I made the right decision on that side and we had the prologue moved as well, so it wouldn't have happened anyway. But yeah, of course, if there is availability and communication goes that way, there's no reason to say no.
And then last one for me. I mean, you just mentioned it. I mean, the WEC opener obviously went outstanding for you and your team. And I think you were fastest in one of the prologue sessions as well. I mean, how much, I know it's a different discipline, but how much confidence did that give you to be back on the podium, to be fastest in a practice session, coming back here to IndyCar? I mean, we all know that, you've shown you can contend in IndyCar, but coming off of that great WEC showing, does that give you a lot more confidence coming into St. Pete?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's been a few years. I said on an Instagram post that I haven't been on the podium, and I know that was always possible. And yeah, I think the prologue, we came out of that P2, qualifying in hyperpole P3 and P3, and then the race P2, splitting the Penske's. Yeah, it was a very impressive first race. I mean, the team did an amazing job, and was very competitive. I think, we wish we could have got a little bit more out of there, because P1 is always something that you want to get. But I think it was the first hypercar podium that we'd achieved as a team, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to carry the momentum, and it's been refreshing. It's nice to go into an environment and hit the ground running, and it's also an environment that I kind of grew up in a little bit more. So I'm hoping to bring that momentum here and see what I can do.
Great. Thanks, Colin. Good luck this weekend. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
You got it, Nate. Ben Johnson, stand by. Let's go Tim Harani up in Canada, TSN. Go ahead, Tim.
Thanks very much, Dave. Really appreciate it. Congrats, Callum. Just was curious to know how this kind of all came about. Did Zach reach out to you, or was it Gavin?
I think it was a bit more mutual in that sense. So obviously I saw the news. I was actually coming out to Indy anyway for some more admin apartment stuff. And then I was going to drop away quickly, or sooner than I expected. And then I think a day or two later, the seat fit was happening. And then I think we were kind of like moving step by step on that side. There were some things and logistics that needed to be sorted out, obviously, as it's not an easy one to deal with last minute, especially as I'm now no longer in the US full time. And to be honest, I think it was with Tony that the first contact was made. But yeah, I reached out, and it was kind of like, let's see what we can do and how we can make this work.
And I guess I'm pretty sure you got to do the test last week. It was okay. And how did you feel after that?
Yeah, no, it was good. It was great to be back in a car. I mean, it's been 2 or 3 months since I'd
Yes,
driven.
physically, how did it feel? How did you feel?
Yeah, it was good. Honestly, I did, I think, like 139 laps, then got straight in a plane to the UK, stopped off, got my helmet for the WEC stuff, and flew to Qatar. So pretty busy, but yeah, I felt good, straight on the pace. So it was like I'd kind of never jumped out, and I've been driving constantly since, so I should be ready for St. Pete, no issues.
Thanks very much for your time, Callum. Really appreciate it. Have fun this weekend. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Arnie.
Okay. Thanks, Tim. So, Callum, do you still have your apartment in Indianapolis or no?
I do. I kind of extended it 2 weeks before I kind of knew my fate at the end of last year. So it cost me a bit more to get rid of it early. So it's actually quite convenient because I get to use it now.
Oh, see, well, there you go. It all makes sense then. Call that whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Ben Johnston, go ahead with Callum Ilott.
Cheers, Dave. Hey, Callum, congratulations on today's news. It's great. Having worked with the team, like, albeit very briefly, how beneficial is that to you going to St. Pete, knowing that that it's not completely brand new for you this weekend?
Yeah, it was really important to do the test. Even though, yeah, I felt like I kind of hit the ground running, there's always stuff that you need to learn and how the environment works together. And it is, at the end of the day, it's such a competitive series. So any little edge you can get is good. And yeah, it was really worked out well in the timing. Of course, again, I would have loved to do Sebring as well, to get some more info, especially in the non-hybrid car. But yeah, it worked out super well. So I'm excited to get going, and obviously they have a great history within IndyCar, so it can only be easier with that, I would say.
Excellent. Thanks very much. Cheers, Dave.
Thanks, Ben. Tommy T, go ahead.
Hey, thank you so much, Dave. Congratulations on this great opportunity. Have you had an opportunity to talk with Ryan Hunter about this opportunity? And if you have, what kind of advice did he give you?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't been able to speak to him.
Okay. Well, thank you. Good luck.
Short and sweet. Sorry.
Yeah, love it.
Edmund Jinks, go ahead with Callum Ilott.
There we go. Yeah. Hi, Callum. Callum. Um, yeah, it strikes me you were like the experienced person on the previous team you were at, and now you're going to be joining a paddock that's chock full of experience. How do you feel that that's going to be, come St. Pete, working with the people in the paddock, the other drivers that are easily equal? What do you expect?
Yeah, I think coming into the environment at Aaron McLaren is going to be interesting for me. It's a lot to learn. It's a bigger environment to what I was used to previously. Also, to be next to Alex and Pato is going to be cool to compare. I have a lot of respect for both of them. They're both very fast, so it's going to be good. There's going to be lots to learn, and hopefully my progress through the weekend should improve. And yeah, hopefully I can join them for a good result and good points.
Well, you raced against these guys before, a good solid season plus, and uh, what what do you think you'll be marching into in terms of learning more from them?
Well, Pato is known for his speed, so that's always something that you're going to be chasing and trying to find. And Alex has a lot of experience within the series, and his racecraft and race pace is always very strong. So I hope to learn on the racing side before we come to the race, see what little things I can find. But even afterwards, it's probably good to compare and see where you gain, where you lose, and even if it's before the weekend or after the weekend, there's a lot as a driver that you can bring with you for the future.
Do you think you might get softer elbows out on the track?
Um, I well, we'll see. To be fair, I love the IndyCar racing. It's hard but fair. Um, and St. Pete is always one that is where people get their elbows out. But at the end of the day, I proved last year that sometimes being a bit more careful in situations brings you a better finish. So we have to see. It depends on the situation.
Well, welcome back, at least for a short period of time. Hope to see you more often, though. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Edmund. Joy, I know you got a follow-up. Anyone else has a follow-up, let us know. We've got time for a couple more questions. Adam Tropper, Motorsports Today. Go ahead, Adam.
Yep, thanks, Dave. Hi, Callum. Congratulations on the podium at Qatar. So obviously, being a reserve driver, you're in a situation where it's essentially an audition for other part-time rides. Do you see yourself being able to secure any other part-time gigs throughout the season, whether it's in the Indy 500 or anything else that may arise in 2024, or is this solely for 2025 at this point in terms of looking for other deals?
To be honest, I'm not really thinking about it. Like I said, it kind of came a bit earlier than I expected. I did think about turning up to St. Pete and then the 500 and a couple of other little ones and see what happened. But of course, yeah, I'm jumping in a car in the first race of the season and a very competitive car as it is. So yeah, I would say after this, I don't know. I might take a little a little break as I've got some WEC stuff coming up, and then we gear up for Le Mans. I think I can make the 500 as well. So yeah, we have to see. I think in terms of a well, not full time, but a for sure ride for the 500, it's going to be tough. I think those filled up quite quickly. So no, I'm just focusing on WEC, and if I'm available for anything else that seems convenient, or I might try some other different cars and range my experience within the world of motorsports.
Yeah, fair enough. And with that being said, obviously you said earlier you're enjoying your time in the World Endurance Championship. So if IndyCar, if no opportunities arise, is your long-term goals like still to stay in the IndyCar series, or would you be content with other endeavors? Just hypothetically.
I mean, I've already kind of how would I say? I took a step away from IndyCar to go and do the World Endurance Championship. And again, it's a professional series ride. To be honest, I just want to do what I enjoy. And I enjoy it a lot. I enjoy IndyCar a lot. And just have to see where that takes me. But I'm not forcing anything because it that doesn't feel right. I'm kind of going with the flow, and again, the fact that I can make all of this happen, and I think so far start the year in a very nice way after the end of last year. It's great. So I'm just going to continue that momentum and keep enjoying it and keep getting results in everything I can do.
Thank you. That's awesome. Wishing you best of luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Okay, again, if you have a follow-up, now is the time to let us know. Joey Barnes, I know you've got one. Go ahead, Joey.
Thanks, Dave. Sorry to bug you about this, Callum. But, you know, obviously you're missed because we keep bugging you about future opportunities and next year and everything like that. So clearly we want you around the paddock. But I guess something that to touch on something that Nate was asking earlier, I guess I don't want to put the wagon before the horse, so to speak, but I mean, if you were to ballpark it, because you obviously have made it clear that WEC is the priority, that's the program that you're putting the most emphasis on this year, and rightfully so. But if you could ballpark it, what do you think is maybe a comfortable number of races that you'd be willing to do on the IndyCar side this year without sacrificing or feeling like you're sacrificing that program?
Um, I don't want to get in the way of anything. There's a lot of preparation up until Le Mans, and I think we have some other tests maybe before COTA later on in the year. Of course, I'm. It's convenient that the series only has 7 or 8 races, so it's not too strenuous on that side. It's just a lot of travel. I think the calculation I did at the beginning of the year was the possibility to make 11 or 12 IndyCar races if I had to. Of course, that's a lot of traveling for me to do.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna see what's convenient on that side, and there's a certain I do have like if I have to do 11, 12, that's what I'll have to do. If I can manage with 3, 4, 5, that's what I do as well. So I'm just playing it by ear. I don't think I expected to go to St. Pete about a month ago. So now that's happening. I can't complain.
Fair. Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, man. And again, best of luck.
Thank you.
Okay, time for 2 more. Neil Wooding from Sky IndyCar. Go ahead, Neil.
Hi, Callum. Good news for us UK viewers over here that we've got you on the grid. It's been a good couple of days, really, with you and Jack. I just wanted to talk. There was obviously Aaron McLaren announced that there was going to be this strategic alliance with John Coss back in the year. Were you already in discussions with McLaren back then?
Yeah, so when there was, should we say, some shifts in the market, obviously I had some contact with Zach to see what was going on. There was the understood kind of development of a partnership between Juncos, and at that point it seemed quite sensible to keep things as it was. So I had that communication established, which was why I think it was quite easy to get the ball rolling to do St. Pete a couple of weeks ago.
Perfect. Well, good luck this weekend, mate.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Neil. Good to hear your voice. We'll wrap it up. Eric Smith, IndyCar.com. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, excuse me. Sorry, Colin, just to put a bow on it. Clearly, IndyCar feels home to you. I could tell. Smile expressions, You were Ferrari reserve driver. You stayed here. I remember a couple years ago in the media center over here, you talking about how this just felt right to you to stay with Juncos, and here you are back. Like, why do you keep wanting to come back to IndyCar? What kind of a softball question for you, but why? What about this series do you like so much that even with wet full-time abilities over there, you still want to come back? So, what about the NTT IndyCar series feels home for you? It makes you want to just keep coming back for more.
I mean, you're putting a lot of plurals on there. This is the first time I've had to come back. No, I mean, to put it simply, I felt that maybe it was slightly premature what happened end of last year. It's life, and you have to find the best situation for yourself and work with that. And to be fair, I'm very fortunate to be in a super competitive seat with Hertz Team Jota and hit the ground running on that. And we're second in the championship and World Endurance Championship straight away, which is great. And then to get the ball rolling in the first weekend of IndyCar with Aaron McLaren, I can't complain. So it's pretty exciting on that side. This opportunity just felt right, I think, for me, and I think for the team, it was very convenient to kind of get it working. And I think we're in for a good, exciting weekend in St. Pete. From my side, yeah, again, that maybe it was premature. I obviously did try and stay in the NTT IndyCar series for this year, and that I was kind of unsuccessful at making that happen. And yeah, I very quickly found another seat, which just felt right in the World Endurance Championship. So I think in some ways it's a shame that I didn't quite make a full-time ride work. If things had have happened maybe a bit earlier, I wouldn't have had a problem. But again, I made something work that I can't complain about at all, and I'm super happy to do. So it's a good place, and again, like I said, I can't have wished for more at the moment. I'm getting to do some exciting things this year.
I guess more so, I meant like more like competition. Is there just something about the competition levels of the NTT IndyCar series that just brings the best out of you, brings the most out of a race car driver that it's hard to find and replicate that other areas of the world? Is there competition wise? Is it just something that just suits you that you just want more of per se?
I mean, yes, it suits me. I think if I'm gonna summarize it, I think it's been a tough 2.5 years to really show what I want to show. I've showed potential in a lot of areas, but hasn't quite paid off in the way that I wanted it to. So I think there's something about that keeps making me want to come in and just go like, this is what I've been talking about. And hopefully that can happen sooner rather than later. But as soon as yes, of course, the championship is super competitive, and there's a lot of variability, and the range of tracks that we go to as a series is tough to stay on top of. But yeah, I think as soon as I move away, I seem to get the ball rolling again and get some results, and I come back here and I want to keep proving what I can show in my history of racing.
Perfect. Exactly what I meant. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
No problem.
Well, without any more hands raised, we'll go ahead and leave it there for now. Callum, again, thank you so much for your time here today.
No problem at all. Thank you for having me back.
You got it. It's great to see you again. Look forward to seeing you in St. Pete. And a reminder, the video from this news conference, along with transcripts, will be available on the IndyCar content site within the next 45 minutes to an hour or so. The Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, Sunday. Coverage begins at noon Eastern on NBC Peacock, and a Spanish language version also available on Universo. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your week.
Thank you. Have a good week. Bye-bye.